All right, guys. The gate was 5 million. The attendance is 17,487. Second highest grossing event at the arena. The UFC is now 1, 2, and 3 all time here. Obviously, you know what the fight of the night was. And then they both get 50,000. And then Span and Buckley were performance of the night. Congratulations to all of them.
Dana, to your right, have you seen anything like that before where after the fight's over, and it's this incredible fight, the crowd stayed for 10 minutes?
Yeah. Well, I already
chanting Khalil's
had put the
name?
belt on, walked all the way back to my room. We were talking. And then by the time he got on and was doing his interview, literally almost everybody was still in their seats. Incredible. Yeah. Well, it should. I mean, it's an incredible show of respect for both guys. I mean, what a hell of a fight. And Khalil Roundtree, I mean, another level of tough.
I was going to say, do you, obviously Alex is one of your biggest stars, if not your biggest star right now. But do you think Khalil, with this performance, he's going to become a draw in the future and that people are going to want to actively go out and see him fight? Yeah,
I mean, you have to respect this guy. But, I mean, did this not play out the way everybody thought it would? I mean, everybody knew. Everybody at first was like, oh, he's ranked number 8. But you knew it was going to be a badass fight. You knew it was going to be a badass fight. You can never measure heart. You don't know how that's going to go. Huh? Now you know.
In the third round and maybe into the fourth round there, Alex's jab really started to pick up. And did you feel like when he was landing that jab and the 1-2 that was really the difference in the fight where Khalil maybe wasn't able to breathe after that?
I felt like the difference was the low leg kick. And when he started calf kicking him, he was destroying that leg, and he was having trouble putting pressure on it, and he was having trouble with his punching power, his movement, everything. And he systematically just started picking him apart. And he said, when I watched the feature, he said, listen, this guy hits hard. He's tough. He's this, he's that. And this guy has a dream. But my fight IQ will win this fight. He said that in the combo feature, and that's exactly the way it played out.
Two other questions for me. One, you were so high on Anderson Silva during his run. Alex has lost to Israel, but he's beaten probably a better quality of opponent than Anderson did in that run, especially in the first part of that run. How do you think this run of Alex's compares to what Anderson did at that point?
There's no doubt. What this guy has done is unbelievable. Not just in, if you want to compare, and the way he's done it. The way he's done it. I mean, this guy destroys everybody.
And then the last question: what did you think of the judging in the co-main event? I mean, it seemed to me.
I thought judging tonight was atrocious.
Yeah.
Felt like I was at a boxing match in Ireland tonight.
Did you know when it was over you had it won? I mean, did you feel there had to be a little doubt in your mind? I would guess.
My old good friend Bert Watson, he used to say, "Don't leave it in the hands of the judges; they're only going to make you cry." And so that was definitely playing in my head rent-free, especially because in the locker room I kept hearing that they were giving these decisions away and that the judges were a little crazy tonight. So I was definitely concerned about that. And then when I heard split, I was like, oh, golly. I didn't know. But I thought in my head I had done enough.
In the fourth round, she came out hard at you. Obviously, it turned out you had won the first 3 rounds on all the scorecards, but she came hard in the fourth round and she hurt you. What goes through your mind at that point? Because you got to feel like you were in control of the fight, and then all of a sudden you're hurt and you're kind of reeling a little bit. How did you get it turned back around?
Staying calm. Flowing like water, as my jiu-jitsu coach, Luis Claudio, always says, is just to stay calm and make sure that you're not, spazzing out, because that's only going to get you more tired. I know that I am tough. I know that I am durable, and I know that I'm never out of the fight, and I'm never going to give up on myself. So you're literally going to have to kill me in there in order to get me to stop. And I knew that even though I had been hurt, that I wasn't down and out, and I'm never going to count myself out. So for me, it's just, the definition of a true fighter.
After you got up after that right hand and she started getting you on the cage and landed some shots there, were those hurting you? Or, they seemed like they were clean, but were they?
No, not at all. I would have to rewatch the fight, but no, I do not recall those shots hurting me.
And then, was she better than you thought, right? It was a very close fight. However, somebody scored the fight. Do you think that she was a better fighter than you gave her credit for going into the event?
you know, I had just prepared for Raquel for a long time. I realized that she's a veteran and that she's tough and she's durable. But she, I don't think, did much that surprised me other than that head kick that definitely landed.
Alex, was that the toughest fight you've ever had? I know you've had a loss before, but that fight was really brutal. How did it rank compared to the other fights you've had?
Essa foi a luta mais difícil. Você já tem derrota, mas essa pareceu bem brutal.
Essa luta foi muito difícil, né? Pô, ali no... Hoje foi muito difícil, mas eu acho que o mais difícil mesmo foi a minha preparação para essa luta. Muitos não. Na verdade, só a minha equipe sabe tudo que eu passei, né? Quando marcaram essa luta para mim, eu estava no Brasil e tive dificuldade de voltar para os Estados Unidos. Deu um problema no meu visto. Fiquei todos os dias no consulado para ver se meu visto estava pronto, e eles não mandavam um e-mail para mim. Então, pô, faltando um mês para a luta, saiu meu visto. Depois eu voltei para os Estados Unidos, mas assim, voltando um pouquinho, eu já estava doente, a imunidade caiu, febre, dor de garganta, tive que tomar antibiótico por 5 dias. Depois consegui fazer a viagem, estava ruim. Tem até vídeo mesmo, eu mostrando como que eu estava mal. Depois eu falei no vídeo até, se eu ganhar a luta, porque eu não sei o que acontece, mas se eu ganhar a luta, eu posso mostrar esse vídeo. Se eu perder, ninguém iria ver esse vídeo. Depois eu vou mostrar para vocês verem como a minha cara, como que estava. Então voltei para os Estados Unidos, fiquei 1 semana em Canéric, depois vim para cá 3 semanas antes. Cheguei aqui, altitude, minha garganta começou a inflamar de novo, fui para o médico. Tive que tomar antibiótico por mais 5 dias. Depois, voltando, no Brasil, tinha machucado minha costela. Uma lesão que 1 ano atrás eu tive um pouco mais de 1 ano, meio que uma fratura, né? E agora aconteceu uma inflamação na cartilagem, que quem já passou por isso sabe, que é ruim. Então voltei para os Estados Unidos, vim para minha preparação. Aqui estava muito difícil, altitude e, pô, rompi o ligamento do dedinho também, né? O mesmo dedo que eu quebrei, né? Essa vez não foi osso, foi ligamento. Então passei por muitas coisas, né? Você perguntar para mim o difícil, lógico, a luta foi muito difícil, mas acho que o que eu passei fora da luta para chegar aqui e ainda dar esse show, né? Eu sinceramente eu tenho muito orgulho de mim hoje.
Yeah, the fight was really tough, but only my team really knows how tough this camp was. I went through a lot of stuff that nobody really knows about. So I was in Brazil about over a month ago. I had some problems with my visa. I was going over to the consulate every single day trying to see if my passport was ready to be picked up. Finally made it back to the U.S., spent about a week in Connecticut, been here for 3 weeks. In that meantime, I was on antibiotics. I had a fever. I had a bad throat, and a lot of things happened. Also, going back when I was in Brazil, I hurt my rib. It was an injury that I had about a year ago, and it came back. So that was also something that I was dealing with. And then when I came here, my throat was still bad. Went to the doctor. Had another round of antibiotics. I even recorded a video at the time that, I say in the video that I would show it if I won. So we can put that out at some point. But, I went through a lot. And also the ligament in my toe that was hurt for UFC 300, that came back. So there's a lot of things that I went through in this camp. And, it was a tough fight, but it was a tough lead up to this fight. And I actually feel really proud of myself at this moment.